Day Dawns ARKS! Welcome everyone to the inaugural episode of the weekly Phantasy Star Online 2 podcast, recorded live on March 7th, 2020. I am one of your hosts, PrinceBrightstar, and with me are Winsock and Zance. Say hello, everyone.
Hello there.
Alright, so it's
I'm
our
really
first
excited
episode,
to
and what
start
we wanted to
this.
do was... Indeed. So what we wanted to do is we wanted to give some introductions to everyone watching today before we really got started here. Winsock, why don't you start us off with a bit of your history with the series?
My history with the series is I played the original on the Phantasy Star on the Sega Master System, played off and on with the other ones, didn't really get heavily into the Phantasy Star series until PSO on the Dreamcast. Played Force Tekker, on their Force, then played PSO on the Xbox, and then later went to Blue Burst. Always stuck with the Force character. It's been my love of a character, and then went to PSO2 about 2014, and then played Force Tekker there. Now I'm trying out Hero to see how it goes, and can't wait for the NA release. On to you, Zance.
And for me, I've been playing the Phantasy Star games pretty late. I started on Portable on the PSP back in 2010, and then I also got Portable 2. And so far, out of all the Phantasy Star games that I've played through, only ones I could say that I've beaten are Online, Portable, and Portable 2. But I started playing Online 2 back on when Episode 5 came out. That was a hero main, but on NA, I'm primarily going to be focusing on Bouncer.
And as for myself, I've been in the
Brightstar,
Phantasy
what about
Star...
you?
Go ahead. Yes, so as for myself, I've been in the Phantasy Star community for almost 2 decades now, and even before then, I got my first taste of the Phantasy Star series back in the Sega Genesis days. I've worked on various projects throughout the years, like doing new player survivor guides, and covering what people in the community were doing for the games. That ultimately culminated with the start of the multiple Let's Play series I've done for each of the sub-series, Algol, Regol, Grawl, and Oracle. It really is my favorite video game series, not just only for the gameplay, but also for the lore that each game brings. And so with that, why don't we go ahead and move on to our first topic here, new player mistakes.
Oh boy, there's a lot of things to talk about with that.
Oh yeah.
I think the easiest one to get off the bat is experiment with different classes.
Yes. So one of the player mistakes is there is some research you can do on the classes. There's a bunch of class guides, videos, everything else that you can find on YouTube or on the various Discords that are out there. I would suggest finding out what is best for your play style that you like in other online games, like be it if you're on an MMO, if you're more of like a caster, you might want to lean towards Force Tekker or Summoner or Phantom. If you're more melee, then you got Hunter, Fighter, Bouncer, which Bouncer is more in between
it's like a tank and a striker.
Yeah.
It all depends on if you're going to be using the jet boots or the soaring blades.
Yes. And then you have, your last bit of classes, which are your gun classes. So if you're more of, ranged melee in other games, then, look towards, Ranger, Gunner, and try to do a combination of those. You got anything to add on to that, Zance or Bright?
Oh yeah, also don't worry about leveling. Early on, it's going to be a bit of a hassle to level up early on, but after you get a class up to max level, you get a bunch of keys do your daily ARKS missions to get a bonus key every day. You just keep doing that. It makes where if you have another class you want to try out, leveling up is not going to be that much of a hassle. It actually goes extremely quick.
Yeah, going on that, the ARKS missions.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, don't forget to do the daily ARKS missions, and then there's weekly ARKS missions, and then they have this new thing in NA, which are going to be the Battle Pass. I believe that's going to be tied into the ARKS missions. Be sure to get those done as fast as possible. You have your normal ARKS missions, which unlock certain features. You get a lot of Meseta out of it. You get rewards, but
it's mostly, mostly your main source of Meseta is from the weekly missions.
Yep. So don't forget those ARKS missions.
Prince, you have anything to add on that?
Definitely you don't want to forget about your ARKS missions. If I remember correctly, they didn't actually have the bonus keys during the closed beta test, but we don't know if that's actually going to be the case once they go into the open beta test or not. So definitely, you definitely do want to get those keys when you can. But moving on from that, I would also say you also don't want to ignore your story quests as well. There are several rewards that you can get for completing the story, including star gems, as well as various pieces of gear. And in addition to that, there are also certain mission types that are locked behind the story, and you can also unlock a high-end ability called the Dark Blast before you finish leveling up in Episode 5, once that releases by going through the story first. Rather than waiting until you can get into the extra hard mode to unlock it that way.
Yeah, and episode 5 also has 2 other things to unlock through doing the story, and that's the Buster Quest and Enchanted Forest.
Yes.
And I'm also pretty guilty of not doing the story quest. Most of the time, whenever I play, I just do the daily client orders, whatever random things I feel like doing, fashion stuff. I really should get around to doing the story quest, but I just don't, because I'm lazy.
Yeah, that's been one of my main things, is actually going through and not doing the story quests, because everyone's like, why do the story? It's, technically like an item find game, but you get stuff out of the story quest, and you get to learn more about the lore of the game, which a lot of people like me, I love lore, but for some reason I barely even touched the story quests in this game. Barely. I think I completed chapter 1 and 2, or episode 1 and 2, and that's it. I never touched it after that. And
then Prince here has probably done all the story, right?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, definitely. So another thing that you don't want to ignore is you don't want to ignore gathering. By gathering various stones, you're able to access what's called the ring system, and that's equipment that can change how a class plays, or it can give you access to a third class ability once you have your main and subclass set. And it even can affect how the AIS, the large robots that you can enter inside of in certain missions, how those work, whether it be reviving quicker or making your main laser fire out faster than it used to. It's definitely worth the time investment. As a hunter, I'd highly recommend getting the Hunter Focus Ring, which slows down how quickly your focus falls. It makes a huge difference as you're running from enemy group to enemy group, not having to refill that thing again.
And then for Bouncer, if you're going to be using the dual blades, or as it's called in NA, soaring blades, get DB Saber, or whatever it's called in NA, because that allows it to where the weapon action of the blades will do significantly more damage than without it, like around 4,000 times more damage, or something ridiculous like that. And also on top of the gathering thing, another reason you would gather is for food.
Yes, food. I completely forget about food.
Yeah, I know, because food's not really that useful except for the meat stir fries.
Yep. Get that attack percentage.
Mm-hmm. Also, if you want to make some good Meseta, make meat stir fries. You have to gather 10 red meats, which you'll get from any enemy, 10 coast olives, and 10 ruins grapes.
Yeah, and you don't know what gathering is, when you go out into free field or any mission, you will see little green and blue circles. The green circles are for your gathering, the blue circles are for your fishing.
I recommend starting with fishing.
Yes.
Doing it until you get a fever and then go right over to harvesting.
Correct.
But the thing is, you need to go to Franco's Cafe first to unlock it.
Yes, so to get to Franco's Cafe, there's two ways. You can just go to the shop area, and then it will be by go past where Dudu is, and then you just hang a left, and it's straight through there. Or if you go towards the back of the gate ship, where you have your team counter in the medical center, if you go through that exit right there in the back, you can select Franco's Cafe to go directly to it.
Or through the quick menu, you can quick travel to it.
That too. That'll be the easiest way. But yeah, don't forget at all about gathering. Another thing I wanted to bring up was your mag. Leveling your mag. Now, a lot of people probably seen this topic before, and if you screw up, it's not the end of the world. There's a level down device you can buy. Your mag has to be at least level 101, I believe, 101 to be able to use it. But if you accidentally level one item that you're not wanting to level up, so say you're wanting to go striking or melee attack is what it's called in NA, and you accidentally raise up ranged or technique, you can actually use the level down device to reduce that level. So then you can actually go forward and get the pure stat mag that you're wanting.
And a good thing about that level down device, it used to be 50 X cubes, and now it's only 5.
Well, that's in the Japanese server. We don't know what it's going to be in the NA server.
I hope they keep it at 5, because that's a lot more useful.
Yeah, if they keep it at 5, it's a lot more useful, but it's still not that difficult to get to 50 X cubes, especially when you're getting into like super hard where all those 10 stars drop.
Oh yeah, true.
That's another thing. X cubes, they're easy to get. Same with photon spheres, which is another currency you're going to need to have. When you get a 10-star weapon, you can open the recycle shop and just exchange that for an X cube. One 10-star equals one. A 10-star weapon equals an X cube, and one 10-star weapon equals one photon sphere. You can do either or.
And it's 10 and 11 star that equal 1.
Yeah, 10 and 11 star.
12s can't be exchanged. 13s and 14s can, but I don't know if 14s are going to be in NA at launch. I know 13s definitely are, since I did get a 13-star soaring blade.
Yeah, we both did. After that we won.
Oh yeah, we both got 13-star because of
the PSE burst and Cradle of Darkness.
Dankness.
All the loot. Another thing, how to, like, when you're first starting out and you're like making your character, for those that didn't play closed beta, they haven't played Japanese server and they're wanting to just play NA fresh. When you first get past the tutorial, you will log into the gate ship, and from the gate ship, you'll have to do a couple things. First, it'll do a little brief thing over the ARKS mission, like a little tutorial over the ARKS missions. Then after that's over, you will see Athen to your left. That'll be like your next ARKS mission, is to talk to Athen. So you go and talk to Athen. After you're done with Athen, you can actually pick up your mag right then and there, and I suggest you get it right away. Bright, if you want to go ahead and load the clip that I got together for us real quick, and I can go over that.
There it is.
So as soon as you log in and you're done talking to Athen, you just go straight up to Coffee. Now, this is footage from the Japanese server. The same as in NA. So when you talk to her, you'll see mag license. And if it's the same way, you just pick it up, pick up the quest, and then you can go through there, read more about it, and turn it in immediately. After you're done with that, you get like a bunch of EXP. It's like free EXP. You can actually get to like level 20-ish, I believe, in the lobby without actually having to leave and do a quest. So after you're done with that, you can do a 180 and go straight behind you, and you'll see Echo. Now, Echo has a mag breed quest. This one you don't have to worry about. You can feed it a motto mate. It tells you how to feed your mag and the energy levels on the mag. So you just go to your mag, go ahead and equip it at this point, and then click on it, give it item, and then just give it a monomate. And if you look, the levels don't change that much, so it's okay.
Yep.
But as soon as you give it the monomate, you get all you complete the quest, boom, you turn it in. As you see here, I'm already level 8. And I started at level 2, and that was from doing the Athens stuff to unlock everything else. So you're already level 8, and you haven't even stepped out of the gate ship to go start killing mobs or anything. And then here you can see me actually completing the ARKS missions for it. And as you can see, there's multiple hidden on top of each other. So you just seriously click there. Like, this is another character, so I already have a bunch of stuff unlocked. See, the volcanic caverns, that was already done on another character. Those are account wide, so don't worry about that. But as you see from the clip, it's very simple to get your mag. It's very simple to get that early EXP. You don't have to worry about, as soon as you log in, to go out and start doing quests right away, like out killing mobs, the actual ARKS missions or the ARKS quests. All you really need to do is just get the little stuff first. That mag, even if it's only has 1 point, that 1 point is a little bit helpful at the early levels.
Mm-hmm. Also, another piece of advice with the mags. Don't worry about feeding it the way that you used to feed it back in the day with PSO. Get photon spheres, go to the photon sphere shop, buy the food devices, and then just use those devices. That way you can get a pure melee, ranged, technic, or dex mag.
Yes, and hardly anybody nowadays goes the defensive tree.
No, defensive sucks. Just dodge, forehead.
Yeah, just don't even worry about striking defense or melee defense, range defense, and technique defense. Don't worry about those three. Those three are usually handled through your units, which should be enough. Yeah, so
Best defense is a good offense. Exactly.
yes, that is very true. Got anything to add onto that, Bright?
Yeah. So the one thing I would also note is eventually there's going to be a section of the ARKS missions where it asks you to create an auxiliary. Now this may change for when the live servers actually go up, but during the closed beta test, by creating an auxiliary and then sending an auxiliary out on a mission or a client order for you, you would end up with 60 photon spheres. So that is basically a great way to supercharge your mag all the way up to like around level 100 or so. You want to hang on to some of those spheres for something else we're going to be talking about fairly soon here. But I would say like maybe 30 to 40 of them you could dedicate to those food devices and get your mag right up to level 100 immediately.
Yes, and what he was talking about was we mentioned the photon spheres earlier, and he just mentioned it now. There is a shop or a vendor in the shop area on the top floor that is the photon sphere vendor, and that vendor sells mini food devices. What these mini food devices is it only does that stat. So if you're doing melee attack, range attack, or technical attack, or they call it magic in this game?
Tack. It's called tack.
Just tack? Okay. So you can buy those. Now, up to level 100, pretty much one will guarantee you a level on that stat. Once you get to level 100, it's like you're going to need 1 to 2, and then as the levels go up, you're going to need more and more and more and more. But those mini food devices are fairly inexpensive. You actually just you turn in, I think it's like for 5 you get 3.
Yeah, it's 5 for 3.
Yeah.
So you get the photon spheres, you get all those mini food devices. You click on mag, give device, and once it's on there, spam enter.
Yeah, just spam enter as fast as you can. because you'll just see your mag just start dancing from all of the little hearts and everything because it's getting fed. Mm-hmm. But the difference between the mag mini devices and feeding it like an item is your energy doesn't go up. When your energy gets full, you can't feed your mag anymore. Once it gets past 75%, I think it is. No, because it goes up by 33. So once you get it to a certain percentage, yeah. So once you can only feed it 3 times, an item, 3 times, until it gets full. When it gets full, that energy bar will go down, and then you can feed it again. And the way to know that your mag is hungry, you'll get a little battery indicator showing like low battery next to your mag as you're running around. That means, my mag is hungry. I think it's on a 10-minute timer, if I'm not mistaken.
I think.
You could set it.
Or if I remember from the original PSO, it was 3 minutes. I don't know if it's the same here. I
can't remember the exact timer. There's a timer out there that you can do that's, I think, on either on Bumped or ARKS Layer. I'm not sure. But,
I don't do the original method because with devices, that doesn't apply. You could just spam it.
Yeah. So what I did in closed beta is, I was going Braver, and Braver's a Dex mag. One item I can feed my mag, which are the PA discs and the technique discs. I can actually feed that to a mag, and that's just pure dexterity. So if you're going to be going like Braver, Bouncer, or wanting to try to in-game Phantom, all of those classes use dexterity as their main stat. You can legitimately just feed it nothing but PAs that you don't need, that you usually either throw away, don't pick up, or you sell to a vendor. You can feed that to your mag at the same time you're doing the Dex mini device, and you can get up to a higher level quicker with your mag. And there's other items you can do. There used to be a little item roulette, not roulette, but a little item sequence you would have to do, if I remember back in the day, before everyone just started doing nothing but mini devices. You could give it one item that'll increase like your S attack, but it also rose this stat up. But then there was another type of item you can feed it that would raise your S attack but lower that and raise another thing. So you could just flip flop, so only S attack is going up and everything else is shifting up and down, up and down. But I would just recommend only doing the mini food devices for starting out.
Also, if you plan on doing every class on one character, like proper endgame way, then yeah, the only way that you'll be able to get multiple mags on one character is to buy it through AC. Oh, people would alternate between weapons and certain furniture. Oh, furniture.
Yes. So that would be correct on that, what was just said in chat. People would alternate between weapons and certain furniture. Yes. Certain furniture, I forgot what it was, but certain furniture raised a separate, like they do different stats based on what type of furniture it is. But yeah, I would just focus mainly on the mini mag devices. You don't have to get yourself confused with what item can I feed it now and then what item do I have to feed it next. If you just do the mag mini devices, you're good to go. I would not worry about the other devices that are in there for like HP support, photon power support, any of that. I wouldn't worry about that just yet. Leave that aside for when you're in the game and you're learning more about the game. Then pick that up. And then research what you have to do with, if you need, more photon power for your build, get, the PP restore, because your mag will restore your photon power. Not all the time. Random intervals will restore your photon power for you without you having to do anything.
Just know this: if you have a balance mag, we're coming for you. No, we're not. But still.
Yeah. All right. You want to go ahead and what other topics do we have?
So the other thing I wanted to bring up is actually not ignoring the collection file. Collection files are managed by the NPC Prin, and they give you weapons and other items as rewards for completing several objectives repeatedly. even if a weapon seems to be weaker than what you're using, if it has a grind of plus 30 already on it when you receive it, that weapon then becomes a great candidate for fodder to level up the next tier weapon you happen to receive. So for example, back in the closed beta test, I managed to get myself one of those 13-star weapons because we managed to get lucky with the PSE burst happening during the Cradle of Darkness urgent quest. And so the badges that you needed for that were just raining from the sky, along with the blood rain, but that's beside the point. And basically, I got like 3 or 4 of those weapons from Prin now, and I'm going to dump all those into the 13-star weapon and hopefully get that to at least a plus 10 once the open beta test starts.
And actually, another thing I want to add on. You mentioned how you were getting a bunch of those weapon badges from Cradle of Darkness. So, in settings, turn this on. Automatically collect materials. Turn that on. It is so important to do that, so you're not running around after the PSC burst, meticulously grabbing all of those badges. Turn the rare notification from like 7-star and up to like 10-star and up.
I think that would be best done if we had a clip of that. We can work on that for next time, or we can put it up on the YouTube channel. But it's in the options. You can actually enable all of that. And I'm gonna tell you this: I didn't do that at the start of closed beta, and I wish I did, because
because I knew about it.
Towards the end of closed beta, I had completely forgotten about that aspect, because I hadn't played PSO in a while. I took a long break, and then I heard about CBT, so I was like, oh, sign me up. And then I got back into PSO, and because it was pretty much me, Zance, and a couple of other buddies, we were playing the beta together, and Zance told me about it. I'm like, oh man, I'll have to go around and hit E, or because I played with my keyboard and mouse hooked up to my Xbox. I was like, I don't have to go around and click E on everything. Thank God, I completely forgot. Don't get me started. But almost yeeted that thing out of the window.
Oh, you found that option as well.
Yeah. So it's that is just one of the little bitty tips that make it to where you can go to mob a lot faster than having to kill 10-star, gotta go pick it up. No, now you can enable it to where boop, automatically picked up. You don't have to worry about it. But one thing I would like to add with I lost my train of thought on that, is actually about because the closed beta is on Xbox, obviously,
or was
Yeah, it was on Xbox. A lot of people, I've seen this on the subreddit, the PSO2 subreddit, about what type of PC do you need to run the game. This is an 8-year-old game. I can run this game on my Surface Pro, which I have at work, at, not even the highest end Surface Pro. The Surface Pro 3 with an i5, which isn't even the top of the line, runs the game at 60 frames per second with an integrated video card. You don't need a top-of-the-line computer to get 60 FPS at this video game. So if you're running on an older system, there is a file you can download on ARKS layer. It's the player creator, or the player creation. And what it also does is it has a benchmark test on it. And if you're wanting to know if your computer can run it, you can go to this website. It's arks-layer.com. Look for the PSO2 character creator /benchmark. Download and install that, and then run the benchmark. And it'll give you suggestions on how to make your performance better, or to make it better. And then you can keep just doing that benchmark over and over and over again until you get the good FPS in it and everything else. So that would be something I would highly recommend. Now, if you're at the on a computer that you have to run everything on very low settings, I would suggest trying to look for like a small upgrade. You don't need a big upgrade. You don't need to go and get a 2080 Ti to run this video game.
Oh no.
You don't need.
You want to run it with reshade though.
No. But yeah, you don't need a 2080 Ti or the new AMD 5700 XT. You don't need that to play this game. All you need is just pretty much a budget video card on a budget system, 8 gigs RAM,
Yep, and no matter how good your graphics card is, it will still lag in the lobby.
Yes, because there's just everything there. You'll still lag in the lobby, so don't get too concerned about that. What you're actually looking for is when you're actually doing like a full 12-man MPA, which is multi-party area. That's where you need to make sure you don't have any lag. In the lobby, I mean, I got a very decent computer, and I still lag in the lobby sometimes. Not often, but sometimes. So that would be something I would recommend, is getting that benchmark test and running it to see how good your computer will hold up. If you're going to just be playing the game on the Xbox, so be it. You don't have to worry about it. You're playing on the Xbox. We did notice some differences between the Xbox One S and the Xbox One X. Mm-hmm. There was some differences between the two, and that's because the Xbox One X is more the beefier of the consoles. That's what I run. I had some people in one of the Discords talking about they were on the One S, and all of their screenshots looked a little bit grainier than what I had.
Yeah, it's because of resolution scaling. Yeah. That's something I noticed, because I also have the S. I have the discless one because I just wanted this for PSO2. But yeah, it was a resolution scaling that I was noticing. Several times the resolution would just drop as there's more things on the screen. But then whenever I was in the free fields or in any of the MPAs, resolution was a lot better until it got a lot crazier. And I noticed some sound crackling during Cradle of Darkness. That was a bit annoying.
Yeah. There was some issues, and I had, the issue with the controller deciding to say that it was going idle. Mm-hmm. I mean, if y'all happen to go to my channel and look at my 29-hour stream I did during closed beta, you will see me die or just sit there and yell at my controllers, and it literally locked your screen out. It's like, reconnect your controller. It's like, fumbling around and getting it turned back on. Yeah, there were some tricks that I tried doing and it didn't work. But
worked for me, but yeah, it didn't work for him for some reason.
But yeah, that's another thing. Y'all got anything to add on that about PC? I mean, I'm pretty sure I covered.
I don't think so.
The only other thing I would really add is there were a couple of issues that I also encountered on the Xbox version. I was at least able to resolve the controller issue by actually plugging the USB cable onto it and just leaving it on top of the console as I was using keyboard and mouse.
That's
what I also noticed is there was this very distinct lag with the controls that I've never seen before on the PC version. And I think what I determined is it was like you cannot have more than one button pushed at a time on the mouse, because otherwise it just doesn't even register. So I made sure to put that in the notice for the survey.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I never experienced that problem because most of the time I just hit one button at a time.
I didn't have that issue at all either. Or if I did, it didn't register with me.
Then again, I play bouncer, so it's mostly just one button at a time.
Yeah. Yeah, but going on what you were just saying, Brightstar, I did do the cable issue. Didn't work for me. I even took the batteries out, which was another suggestion, while having it plugged in via USB to the Xbox. Still didn't work. It was disconnected on me left and right. Oh man.
The many frustrations you had during that. Overall,
I had a great time in the closed beta. I loved it. I was hoping yesterday we were going to get some news on open beta. We didn't even get a tweet. Got an Instagram.
And on that topic, let's talk about that Twitter.
Oh, Twitter troll. Get this happy rappy Friday out of here. I just want to see the OBT dates.
Mm-hmm.
No, there's some funny ones.
Yeah, but the teasing of the Twitter is I was really happy to read some of the replies after the closed beta test date was announced, because then it was more so asking questions or being extremely hyped for it. But now that we're all waiting for the open beta test to start, every single reply is just about the open beta test. When is it? When's the date going to be revealed? All that. It's any kind of discussion is just not there anymore.
Yeah. Also,
the UI being cut off. That was another issue with the Xbox.
Yeah, the UI cut off. Yep. That was mainly due to the scaling, I believe. There was a way to fix that. And I think it was you just changed the resolution you were on.
But yeah, back to the Twitter thing.
So another good source of source of information. Sorry, slip of the tongue there. Another good source of information would actually go to the forums. There's some good individuals on there that are not GMs that have tidbit information that post on the forums, and they don't post on Twitter because they don't want to get lost in a wall of text. That's which is Twitter. So check out the PSO2 forums. They do announcements and everything there.
Speaking of GMs, GM Rappy's great.
Oh, GM Rappy, yes. That's probably him in the picture from last Wednesday. If y'all don't know, take a look at the Twitter post from this last Wednesday.
Yeah.
You'll understand.
I started making a joke that it could have been like an example of like an early version of like a takeoff of Five Nights at Freddy's, but we'd call it Five Nights at Rappy's instead.
Oh yeah, that's another thing. The Battle Pass thing.
So we don't have any information. There's like no information except there's going to be a Battle Pass. We don't know what's going to be included. So if you hear people say, oh, the Battle Pass is going to do this, or the Battle Pass is going to give you this, there's no information. There's no information except there will be a Battle Pass and there will be rewards tiers in the Battle Pass. So yeah, I think you have your Battle Pass like gold, silver, and something else, if I remember correctly.
No, it's one track and then the gold track, which you get through SG.
Yeah. So there's nothing that's been announced that I have seen for the Battle Pass system. I would love to have been in the closed beta, but that might be something we see in the open beta to test out.
Because it might be where the open beta rolls into the full release, like how JP did.
Yeah, soft release, where 2-week, 3-week long open beta, and then boop, release, here we go.
Yep.
And I'd be fine, and this is another topic I wanted to talk about, if they actually do content gating.
Yeah, hopefully complex, but yeah, content gating, that might be a thing they do due to how much we've missed out in the past 8 years. So, I don't know.
Because those that were not aware, content was gated in closed beta. All
the way up to episode 3.
We had episode 6 client, and we were running on episode 6 power balancing of the classes. But we were locked to only up to episode 3. Now, a lot of people were saying, oh no, that's not the case. It was full-blown episode 3 and everything about the Scion classes. There was actually, they left a ring in the ring shop that was for Scion classes only. Excuse me. It was for Scion classes only. And I'm like, nope, that's proof right there. The Scion classes are in the game. And those JP players that are confused,
you might day Sega, one
yeah. Sega renamed successor classes NNA to Scion classes. At first, when we were reading the leaked manual way back when, some of us thought that Scion was a 12. They just decided to give it an English name instead of a French name. Now, it's just what they call the successor classes. It's Phantom Hero and Atoll. But sadly, we don't know if Atoll will be out at all. We know we're pretty sure Hero is for sure, because that was the first successor class, and we're not sure about Phantom. It's people are just assuming Phantom and Hero will be out at release. We don't know what we're getting at release.
We don't know many things. There's still a lot of questions that we don't have answered.
Yeah, and I could take it to the forums. I'll put up a post in general discussion to see if I can get a GM to reply about, like, what content are we expected to see in open beta and at release, or is it something that they're going to leave to us as a surprise? And I hope they don't leave it as a surprise, because I hate being in the dark. Don't surprise me.
Yeah, I'm really hoping that that crafting is together by the time open beta happens, because my inventory is full. My bank is full. My inventory is full. All just filled with items that are just ready to desynthesize. Plus, I need to get my sacrificial bite customized so that I can get my wide range AOE attack on my hunter. It was really annoying not having access to that.
Yeah, no crafting. We checked.
Oh, yeah, the achievements. Yeah, that.
Yeah, the achievements. So they put a list out, or someone found the list of achievements because they just updated it in Microsoft or on the Xbox. So yeah, Summoner was an achievement, even though it was there in closed beta. Now, if you looked at that, there was a third section that was in Japanese. I translated it. It just says it's test. Mm-hmm. So they're still working on that. Don't take that, as that's the achievements that are going to be all of the achievements that are in the game at launch. No, they're still testing that. They're probably updated sooner or later before either open beta or official launch. Mm-hmm. It's just they're working on the achievements and getting them all put in there. There was one thing I was going to say. What was it? Oh well. Forgot.
I guess we can move on then to our next topic.
Oh, that would be
leveling up.
Leveling up. Quickest way to level up.
Yeah. So, Prince, you want to start us off with that?
Yep. So, early on, what I would recommend is making a visit to the casino, because that can actually make a huge difference in terms of level or two of experience through client orders. The way you have to activate it is kind of weird. You need to go down to the casino floor and then act as if you're leaving to head back to the shopping area, and then turn around again, and then the client orders should actually show up for you to pick them up. This will give you access to a set of client orders that will both give you additional coin passes to use in the casino, as well as unlock rewards from the prize counter, and as well as giving you a great amount of experience each. I would actually highly recommend doing this when you're at like level 39 or 49, just as you're trying to hit that next difficulty level, so that way you don't, it's not like that last little slog, as it were, to get that unlocked. And also keep in mind, when you're in the casino, keep an eye out for the little pin sticker, because that will give you a title. And I think that's also something that we need to talk about, the difference between achievements and titles in this game, because the way that way that things work, you're going to get your gamer score through the Xbox version, but then there are also titles that are a lot more detailed, a lot more. Basically, there are like over 1,000 titles on the Japanese version, and each one will give you an in-game reward for completing it. So you might get X cubes, you might get photon spheres, things like that, as well as, and this is a little bit later on. Once you start collecting your items and such, you can also get permanent stat boosts by collecting different weapons for the different classes.
Yes. Not to mention you get star gems, fun badges out of it as well. You can get your tri boost, DXP boost, Meseta boosts.
Also, interesting thing I noticed, in JP, whenever you get to certain levels on a class, you got a weapon that was pretty much useless. However, I noticed in the closed beta test, you got boosters instead.
Yes, that was a key difference. I think they did that because they're like, why are we giving them these items when they already have something equipped that's like way better just by killing mobs and finding it on the ground? So
also with the casino, please play responsibly. But if you're already winning big, why stop?
Don't get me started. I got addicted to the rappy slots. I'm not gonna lie. But yeah. Also, one thing that that should always be done is always run with an EXP booster on when you're leveling. Even the 50%, they come like candy. Like they're easy to get.
And through the Photon shop, you can get the EXP booster.
So I would recommend, if you're always, like when you're leveling, to always run with an EXP boost. They last 30 minutes. And especially when it comes time for like certain EQs, like the boss EQs, I wouldn't worry too much about popping your big EXP boosters because it's only the one like the boss EXP you get. But if it's like Cradle of Darkness that we saw in closed beta, boost your highest EXP booster you have as well with the tri boost because they stack. So you want to have your highest tri boost and your highest EXP boost. If you're only wanting to get levels, do that. They stack, and in there's a bunch of mobs. If you get the PSE burst, it's just boom, you get a ton of EXP. Also, a thing I wanted to mention for leveling up, go ahead and start doing your advanced quests when you're level 40.
Oh yeah, that we did that during the closed beta test.
Do your advanced quests. You have to get advanced quests, advanced capsule set. You get that from an ARKS mission. It's gets you a pretty. I think it gives you 20 of each, 40 of each. I can't remember how many of each.
I think it's 20 of each.
20 of each, and then just start off on level 1. Don't boost it up like we did. We ended up running out of capsules because we wanted to boost it to get as much EXP as we can out of it. And then we didn't want to dump all of our Meseta on getting new capsules to just run to get a little bit of EXP. So just go at one difficulty at a time. Each time you do an advanced quest, it raises the rank of the advanced quest you can do by 1. You can boost it like I was saying. What we did is we did it to like plus 35 or something,
I think.
And it was like you did that, boom, you were out of advanced quest capsules. And we only had A unlocked. We didn't have B. So when you're in and you do like advanced capsule A quests, they drop B's in there, B capsules in there. And then when you do B's, they drop C's. When you do C's, they drop A's. So that's how you have to collect your capsules to keep running more and more and more. Well, we only had A, so we couldn't get A capsules again because there was no B or C. But I would recommend, it's a 4-person quest, only up to 4 people. I would recommend you and 3 people get together, go in there and try to get a PSE burst while you're in there. That is the best way to get EXP and AQs.
Yeah, and I got up to level 55 by the end of the CBT, if I remember correctly.
Yep, same here. We got to 55 only by doing, AQs and then doing the urgent code or quests when they came out.
Also, I hope they never change the emergency code person.
Oh, please leave that guy the same. Don't change it.
Emergency code distraction.
Leave him there. I love that broken English. Leave him there. Love it. Love the accent.
I remember
if they
back.
Change him. I'm gonna be mad.
I remember back during the alpha test, it was code alpha, code beta. So that was, and I'm talking about the Japanese alpha, like back in 2011, 2012. So I think that was at least one good change that they made to that. But there are a lot of voice samples that they still have not used. Like there's code negotiation, which I think was the original version of what gesture was. In terms of
with the little Lillipon.
In terms of another idea for leveling up, make sure you're also running, and this is going to be provisional, depending upon if it's actually available at the start here. We were talking about bonus keys a little bit earlier, and typically you get four missions that you can run for those bonus keys. It's not a guaranteed drop, but you do have to go through the mission once. As part of that, there are featured quests, which is basically a mission that's designed to help you level up. And the way it does that is it's an older piece of content, but it has a 200% experience booster built into the mission. So you're going to level up really, really fast through that thing. Once again, it depends upon if it's there in the open beta test, and once the game releases. It was not there in the closed beta test.
True.
That is correct.
Any other topics you want to talk about?
I pretty much think we covered all the topics we wanted to discuss.
Mm-hmm.
I've got one last thing here, and it kind of goes back to the titles again. But each time you complete one of those free exploration quests, the first time you're gonna get an experience ticket of 15,000 experience points, and with the 14 exploration missions that were available in the closed beta test, that turns to a total of 210,000 experience points. Just for playing the game. And you also need to run those fields anyway in order to access the story. So you need to go through a field at least once before you can actually hit that particular portion of the story. So kind of bringing it back once again. And one last thing I do also want to bring up here, and this is kind of going back a little bit to what we were saying earlier about experimenting. I would recommend that you at least experiment with each of the classes until you hit level 75. And the reason you want to do that is once you hit level 75 on all those classes, you're going to get a permanent stat boost from those as well. So you get Hunter up to level 75. That's one permanent stat boost, and I think that one has a bunch of HP attached to it. You get Ranger up to level 75. That's another stat boost. If you're looking to get more closer to what your potential critical hits are, then you want to focus on Braver and Bouncer. Those will give you 40 points of those. And there are resources that'll tell you which class gives you which stat boost. Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, definitely, I highly recommend doing that. I don't believe that there's any kind of boost for the Scion classes, but definitely the base classes, they are in there. So definitely, highly recommend you get those at least to level 75.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't think there are any boosts for them. I'll have to look. I don't remember.
I don't think there is. I think it's just the base classes.
Okay. But yeah, also once you hit max level, you're not done with your grinding.
No, you got a bunch of items to get.
Mm-hmm.
To get your end game gear, your units, your weapons.
We
your
can
PAs,
talk about doing end game stuff in a later
Yeah,
episode.
well, that's a different topic for a later episode, because that will get us down a little rabbit hole of different topics.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think that about covers it.
I think so. It's pretty good.
All right. And so that brings us to the end of our first episode. On behalf of Winsock, Zance, and myself, thank you for joining us today. Day has dawned. Have a great day, everyone.
Peace out.
Later.